Imagine a massive outdoor event. You know, the roar of small planes, the excitement of an air and space fair, all happening right in the heart of South Los Angeles. We're talking about the recent Compton Airport Air and Space Fair, which is, well, just a fitting place to honor a man whose work really bridged the sky over Compton with the vacuum of space.
Exactly.
So today we're diving deep into one name, Hildreth Walker Jr. The news we have in front of us focuses on this posthumous legacy award he received. But that award is really just the launch pad, isn't it? It's the start of a story that goes from this incredible scientific moment to a massive community impact.
It absolutely is.
So our mission today is to unpack that dual legacy. I mean, most people know the name Neil Armstrong, but very few know about the precise technical work that made Apollo 11 possible. We're going to trace that exact line from a single laser beam fired in 1969 all the way to a STEM academy that's thriving in Los Angeles today. What stands out to you about that?
Well, that dual focus is just critical. I mean, we spend so much time celebrating the heroes we see, right? The astronauts, the flight directors in the control room. But we rarely talk about the highly specialized engineers providing that crucial piece of technology, that one thing that lets the whole leap happen. Our goal here is to connect that one specific mind-bending technical feat, the laser shot, with his absolute commitment to community. He truly lit the runway for future generations, not just with light, but with knowledge.
Okay, let's unpack this. We have to start with the science,
Yeah.
because it is genuinely mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Hildreth Walker Jr. was a pioneering laser scientist and a professor. And his big moment, his moment of brilliance, happened during probably the most famous moment in modern history.
Right.
His greatest scientific achievement, the one that anchors him in the history books, is this. In 1969, at the time of the Apollo 11 moon landing, he was the first person to successfully fire the CORAD 1500 Ruby laser to the moon. Now let's just pause on that for a second. It sounds simple, but it is anything but.
It absolutely warrants a pause. I mean, just think about the geometry of that shot. You have this incredibly powerful ruby laser, the CORAD 1500. It generates these light pulses that are, perfectly timed and extremely directional. And the moon is, roughly 240,000 miles away.
And moving.
Constantly moving. And the target you're trying to hit is incredibly small. Specifically, it was the laser ranging retroreflector, the LRR, which the crew had just placed on the surface.
If we connect this to the bigger picture then, the whole mission kind of hinges on this, doesn't it?
It does. This wasn't some fun experiment. This was laser ranging. You are timing how long it takes for a pulse of light to travel 240,000 miles, hit a reflector about the size of a suitcase, and then bounce all the way back to Earth. You're talking about measuring the distance to the moon with millimeter precision.
It's almost incomprehensible when you try to visualize it. Hitting a 6-foot target from 250,000 miles away with a light beam. Just to put that in context for you, it's like standing in Los Angeles and trying to hit a small dinner plate, sitting on a table in London.
Right.
Not with a bullet, but with a beam of light. You have to make sure it reflects perfectly back to you. The atmospheric distortions alone, the timing, it's just flawless engineering.
And the reason this was so crucial for Apollo 11, the reason it wasn't just cool, is that it provided indispensable real-time trajectory data. The astronauts needed absolute certainty about their position relative to the moon's surface, how lunar gravity was affecting them. Walker's data was essential for ensuring the Eagle module landed exactly where it was supposed to.
Yeah, getting back.
And critically, that the trajectory back to Earth was calculated correctly. Without that precision from his laser, the risk profile for the whole mission would have been way too high. He really did make that heroic leap possible.
It's also fascinating to place him in the broader context of that time. The source material points out he was doing this at a moment when Black pioneers were challenging assumptions across the board in aerospace and aviation.
Yeah.
He was, shoulder to shoulder with Black pilots and engineers who were shattering ceilings.
Yes, and that context is everything. His work really grounds this idea that for every famous explorer you see on TV, there's essential cutting edge and often unheralded science happening back on the ground that makes it all happen. And his technical excellence proved that these super demanding, precision-dependent fields were open to anyone who could master the fundamentals, which then became a huge personal driver for his later work.
It's remarkable, isn't it? Someone who achieved what many would see as the absolute pinnacle, literally touching the moon with light. Didn't just rest on that. He used that incredible competence as a springboard. So let's shift gears and talk about the second, and I'd say equally important, half of his life's work. the legacy of inspiration he built with his wife, Dr. Bettye Walker.
This transition is key because the precision he needed for that laser shot, it was mirrored in the dedication they both had for building a lasting educational institution. Together, they established the nonprofit organization, the African American Male Achievers Network, Inc., or AMAN.
AMAN. And what was its mission?
It was founded with a singular, vital mission to support young African-American students, and other students too, especially in areas where representation lacked. We're talking science and mathematics. And this wasn't just about general encouragement, you can do it. It was about rigorous, specific instruction to build real technical capacity.
So what kind of instruction are we talking about here?
When we talk about AMAN, we mean hands-on programs, things that emphasize real-world application. They built the AMAN STEM Academy, which is still serving the South Los Angeles community today. And this academy gives students practical skills in robotics, advanced coding, applied math, treating these kids not just as students, but as future leaders, as participants in tomorrow's tech workforce. It's a direct response to his own experience. If you achieve something massive, you have a deep responsibility to make the path clearer for the next generation.
It's about translating that high-level science into accessible tools. Imagine being a student in Compton who can look at a model of a laser and understand the physics that let a man walk on the moon. That transformation of abstract theory into something concrete, that's the Walker's gift.
And their vision went way beyond California's borders, which just shows the scope of their commitment.
Dr. Bettye Walker and Hildreth, they established the first chapter of the National Space Society on the entire African continent.
No way.
The Cape Town Space Society, or CTSS, that is a massive undertaking.
So it's not just a club, it's about globalizing this whole idea. Fundamentally, a chapter of the National Space Society isn't just a book club. It involves outreach, hosting lectures, organizing conferences, promoting the principles of space exploration and development. By founding this in Cape Town, they were actively globalizing the idea that space science belongs to everyone, reinforcing their mission that knowledge has no geographical boundaries.
And we get this beautiful little encapsulation of that philosophy from the award ceremony itself. Dr. Bettye Walker couldn't be there in person, but she sent a message from the motherland, thanking the community for honoring the legacy for the children of the world.
For the children of the world.
Yeah, that one phrase just confirms it. For them, the science was always tied to the goal of broad, global inspiration for young people.
It really puts the setting for his posthumous award into sharp focus. He was awarded the Legacy Award at the Compton Airport Air and Space Fair 2025. And it was a real generational moment, with his grandson, Justin Walker, proudly accepting the award.
The Compton Woodley Airport, where the fair took place, is such a perfect piece of this puzzle. It is steeped in the history of flight and breaking barriers. We don't need to list every date, but it's important to know this airfield was established way back in 1924. It's always been a place where dreams of flight took root, operating for a century now.
And it's a living, breathing hub. It's not just some historical marker. It's accessible 24/7 for general aviation, and it facilitates over 60,000 takeoffs and landings every year. That's the sound of possibility, right? A constant stream of people learning to fly, maintaining planes, connecting local commerce.
It's true. It houses 200 based aircraft, an aviation museum, a bunch of related businesses. So when you hold an air and space fair there, you're putting this celebration right in the middle of a working, inspirational environment.
And that setting connects directly back to Walker's educational mission and, the history of pushing back against limitations. The source material highlights the huge historical significance of that airport as a hub for the local community, reminding everyone there of the incredible role of the Tuskegee Airmen and other Black pilots who had to fight just for the right to fly, and who really helped light the way for young dreamers in that area.
It's a perfect metaphor. The airport is a physical place where ceilings were broken, where the dream of flight was realized against tremendous odds. To honor Hal Walker there, a man who broke a technical ceiling on the world stage and then built an educational runway in that same community, it just feels so intentional, so deeply resonant.
It is. His legacy is about taking that technical sky-high achievement and grounding it in local opportunity.